says duplex receptacle, and you have outlet duplex. Okay, so let's see here. I think the one I did is I just went ahead and used the standard. Let me go ahead and take this and drag it, and you can go ahead and place on the vertical face or place on the work plane, and that is actually vertical place. So let's go ahead and drop it there. Actually, is that what we wanted? Let's see here. I think that is about right. So let's take a look at it in 3D, make sure it's looking good. And as we rotate that around, we have our outlet there. Okay, now the only thing is I think I may have used a different one than the other drawing. So let me go back to let me put a couple in, I'll tell you which one we're going to want to use. So we put that in, I don't think that's what we want, because we actually want the actual receptacle to show up. So let's try this. Let's try outlet duplex, let's try here. And let's go ahead and drop that. That's what we want right there. Okay, that's the symbol we want, okay? And we're going to go ahead and just get rid of this one. And sometimes, you see how it's kind of picky? So I'm going to get rid of that one. So I got this one right here. Now let's take a look. I can go ahead and move it along the wall. And I didn't give you dimensions. These just kind of place along the wall wherever you want to go. And what you would do is you'd pretty much put these on studs anyway, is how it works. When you're building, who's done any kind of building? Oh, you've helped? Okay, yeah, go ahead. Okay, Blake. Yeah, so if you're putting an outlet box on the wall, what do you do? Do you put it, where do you put it? Just put it randomly on the wall, or what do you put it on?
On a stud.
You put it on a stud, yeah. You put it on a stud, and then what happens is you're going to run your conduit, your cable right down to it, and it gets stapled, along the 2x4. So typically that's what's going to happen. So for me to place these right now, I really am just kind of guessing right now. So it's going to depend upon where those studs actually wind up when the builder gets on site. So that's typically how it's going to be. I've got a pretty good idea if I were to give a complete framing plan, but out in the field, sometimes those things change a little bit, so that's why typically you place them basically, and then they're going to go on whatever the closest stud is going to be to that. Does that make sense? All right. Now, in some applications, like for instance, and since this is just a garage, we're not too worried about it. This wouldn't fly in a hospital, okay? Who knows why it wouldn't fly in a hospital? Codes, okay? Because codes define what has to be done as far as like the frequency of different outlets and so forth, and whether they're GFCI and their placement according to like the medical gases and so forth. Because if something were to arc, it could actually ignite them. So there's a lot of things that go along with this. For a garage, it's going on like here. It's a little different, a little different story. So we can go ahead and place this along the wall right here. And again, the other reason I didn't want to kind of give you exact dimensions, I didn't want you guys to stress. So I just kind of left them in a place where you can see it on the wall. See it? Okay. And this one, I'm a little disappointed because it actually doesn't have the actual outlet holes. But you can't have everything. If you want to go ahead and fish for one, go ahead and do it and put it in yourself. I'm not going to stop you. But that's essentially what you do. So back to level 1. We got that one in place, and then we could just go ahead and copy it, or we just put in other instances of the same thing. And if I go right back here, you've got your single. Let's go ahead and take it and drop it here. And when you do this, you can go ahead and just drop it on the wall. And you get the idea. And then copying it, let's see how that works. If I copy it. I didn't try to copy this one, we try that one. Go ahead and do this and see if it actually finds itself on the wall. And see how it likes it. No, I didn't like that too well, did it? Let me try that again. Copy it. And, all right, copy this. And let's see here. Yeah, it's not working there. Oh, it's constraining it. I don't want to constrain it. Let's try this. Okay, yeah, you can do it that way. You take the constraint off, you're good to go. So you can go ahead and place them along the wall, just using the copy command too. And the copy command will allow you to save some time doing it that way if you want to do that. And that's, again, modified, just a straight up AutoCAD command. We go here, we go to copy, we take off constraint, we can go ahead and take it in place. I think we have another one on this wall, we're going to drop it there. Me again. Yes, there's that one. So once I've got it, I can then just move it down. So you get the idea of how you place those. And so you go ahead and place those in your drawing, and then we'll take it from there. So there's going to be a total of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 outlets. So I'll let you guys put those in there and get them in the approximate position there. We can't do the attic stairs yet, so we're actually looking pretty good right now. So now, we'll get to the other thing about printing later. So that's, okay, are there any questions about what we did here? Except for the debacle about the overhead doors, which I had to kind of get dimensions on there. So placing those in there, there's a few different ways to do it. And like I said, there's also some other things you can do, like using offsets, which the book talked about and so forth. But for right now, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. So that's how you do it. Please remember, though, that these the garage doors have a rough width and they have an actual width. We want to measure to the 9-foot dimension, okay? So you're going to have to tweak around and get onto those rails to get those dimensions in place right. Does that make sense? All right. So that's about it. Yeah, question?
Should we put a floor in here?
Yeah, that's coming up next. Okay, so actually it'll come up after the next. Well, since you asked about the floor, we're going to do the floor.
Can I ask you a question quick about your dimension?
Yeah.
You said the tracking vector. Is that something an automatic or is that a setting?
Does it automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any problem with that. What I did there, I didn't do anything magic. I just went ahead and dragged it and it found the other one when they were online. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So like if you do have something, just to show how this works, if I've got this one, and if it's out of position, they want to be in position. So I go ahead and drag it and watch what happens. It finds there, and that's not the right one, but I drag it there. See, it locks in. It just, like a magnet, it finds it. And so it's kind of a bit of a, bit of a homing device, finds it right there. So that would complete this for right now. Now the next thing we want to do is we go to architecture, and floor is going to be the same thing we did before.